Hello, in this video I'm going to be showing you how I make my hamburger buns, because today I am going to be making McDonald's Big Macs. Yep, I'm going to be making and creating a homemade Big Mac. So the ingredients for the hamburger buns are as follows. We're going to be needing 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. We need 3.5 cups of flour. Half cup of this flour is going to go into the water with the yeast. We need 1 cup of water, and the water must be at 110 degrees. If your water is not at the correct temperature, your yeast is not going to activate it. Also, make sure that your yeast is not expired. We're going to need 1 large egg, and this has to be at room temperature. 3 tablespoons of butter melted. I still have to melt this. 3 tablespoons of sugar. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We are also going to need olive oil. The olive oil is going to be just to put it, grease our bowl, and then we're going to put our dough in there, and then we're going to let it rise. Also, I don't have shown here, we are going to be needing 1 egg, additional egg beaten with 1 tablespoon of milk, and that's going to be to brush it on top of the rolls before they go into the oven. And then we're going to top it off with some of the sesame seeds. I am going to be doing this on my stand mixer. You can use just a regular bowl if you don't have one. So I already have my water at the correct temperature. I'm going to drop it in here. I'm going to throw in the yeast and the half cup of flour, and then I'm going to just mix it. Just give it a quick mix. Okay, and then we're gonna leave this here, let it activate for about 10 to 15 minutes. When your yeast is activated, we're going to add in the egg. The melted butter, the sugar, the salt, and then with the whisk hook, we're just going to whisk this together. We're now going to change the whisk hook and put our dough hook on. And then we're going to start adding the flour. I'm going to drop half of this in there. With the spatula, I'm just going to scrape down the sides, because the flour sticks to the sides. I'm going to add more flour. So once you have the flour all incorporated in there, you're going to keep this on, because we're going to knead this 5 to 6 minutes on here. So after 5 minutes, you're just gonna drop it onto your flour. Well, don't flour your surface. It doesn't need to be floured. And then all you're gonna do, you're gonna keep kneading it by hand until you get a smooth dough. Then shape it into a ball. And then we're gonna grease our bowl. So put oil, the olive oil on your bowl. If you don't have olive oil, you can do shortening or any other kind of oil. Put that in there. We're gonna also grease the top of it. We're gonna cover this with plastic wrap and we're gonna let this rise in a warm place for 1 hour. After about an hour, honestly, mine doubled its size within like 35 minutes because I'm in Arizona and it's still pretty hot here. So if you have it like in a nice warm place, it's going to double its size even faster. So there is mine right there. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is have your baking pan with a parchment paper already ready. And then you can also have a scale so you can measure each one and so it comes out the same. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna flour your surface. You're gonna punch down the dough. And then we're gonna turn it out over here. Okay, so they should make about 8 rolls. Well, 8 buns, I mean. And then just roll it out. Then we're gonna try and get the same size. So we're gonna cut it in half first. Okay, so here we need to get 4. Now we're just gonna measure. And if one is bigger than the other, then we're just gonna do it right. So this is 3.2. This is 3.8. Three 3.4. 3.8. So this one is way bigger. So I did each one about 3.4. Okay, so there's those. I have these two ready on my baking sheet. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So you're going to get your dough. You're just going to work it like this, tucking it in as you turn, just to get it back together and smooth again. Okay, and then what you're gonna do here, gonna just close it. And pinch the bottom, and then twist it, and then with your other hand, just form it into a ball, into a circle, and then flatten it like that. And then just put it on your baking sheet. So do that with all of it. When you are done putting them on your sheet, what you're gonna do is get a little bit of flour, and we're just going to dust the top of it lightly. We're gonna go ahead and cover it back with you can do a cloth, just like a kitchen cloth. Like this one. Can use that, and then we're gonna cover it. And this has to go back to your warm place for another hour, but it may be, you know, it just depends on the climate where you're at and everything. So mine will probably be ready in 40 minutes. Once they have doubled its size again, ta-da, they should look like that. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna get 1 large egg, 1 tablespoon of milk. You're gonna whisk it well, and then we're going to brush the top of these with this egg wash. Very gently, don't push down, because then you're gonna deflate the bread. So this should be done gently. Okay, once you're done doing that, you're gonna get your sesame seeds. I went ahead and just put it in a shaker here. Those Big Macs have a lot of these sesame seeds, so you're gonna put a lot of it on there. And by now, your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees. And now these are gonna go in the oven for about 15 minutes or until golden brown. And after 15 minutes, here are your hamburger buns. So the buns, you do want to make them a little bit more fatter. That because what we're gonna do, the Big Macs have 3 layers. We're gonna cut the bottom, and then we're gonna cut here again. So we're gonna make 3 out of 1. There you go. Here I have my hamburger meat that I am going to make into patties. So it's going to be 2 patties per bun. And they are thin, so they're not thick patties, they are thin patties. And I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. So these are my hamburger patties. Not too thick. Now we're gonna take them to the grill. So I preheated this grill here. And I'm just gonna cook them on here. So let me show you how I did my patty. What I did, I just got my meat here. And I'm just flattening it out. Thin. And then I got this. This is a circle, which is the size of a hamburger patty. And then I just put it on there. And I cut around it. Take off the extra from the sides. And that's it. There's one. So that's how I make mine. Okay, these are almost done. So now we're going to assemble our burger. What I did was I cut 3 layers. We have the crown. We have the club, and we have the heel. Okay, so we're gonna add sauce here. Your Big Mac sauce. We're gonna add some onion. Lettuce. You're going to put your meat. You're going to put your cheese. You're going to put your other bun. Sauce, a little bit of sauce on this too. Some more onion. Some more lettuce. And then on this one, you're going to put your pickles. They add 2 pickles. You're going to put your other meat. And then your bun. Your other bun. Okay guys, here is your homemade Big Mac with homemade Big Mac sauce. Yummy.
Just looks like a Big Mac.
Better than McDonald's Big Macs. Enjoy guys. So for the Big Mac sauce, of course they have this delicious sauce. I found the best one that is so close to it. For this, you're going to need 1/2 cup of mayo, 2 tablespoons of French dressing, 4 tablespoons of sweet relish, 1 tablespoon of minced onion. And what I did was I minced this in my garlic mincer, and I got 1 tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. 1 teaspoon of sugar. And 1/8 teaspoon of just salt. And then what we're gonna do, we're going to combine all our ingredients in as it is in order. So we're going to start with the mayonnaise. So 1/2 cup mayonnaise. The 2 tablespoons of the dressing. The 4 teaspoons of relish. The 1 tablespoon of minced onion. 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. One teaspoon sugar. And just a bit of salt. We're going to mix this together. And that's it. Pretty simple Big Mac sauce. And then what you're going to want to do, refrigerate this for a couple of hours, maybe an hour, and then it's ready to use. You can do this ahead of time, refrigerate it overnight, but you can also just do an hour or 2 hours. It's fine. All right, so there's your sauce.